of hype, it definitely is raining money. And if you're in Main Street, you just got $2 million from a clutch of investors that include the likes of Nithin Kamath. There is Deepi Goyal. You have Tanmay Bhat, Tanya Ghavri, the singer Badshah himself. So many people.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting time, and I think it's a landmark moment for the industry as a whole.
Have you crossed that 100 crore revenue run rate that you promised that time?
So at that time, our short-term goal is definitely to be at a 100 crore run rate. I can very confidently tell you that this year we're well on track to cross 100 crores in top line. And again, that's an exciting time for us because it helps us ask the more important, the bigger questions of what's next.
And that is the question. I mean, what is next?
What is next? So everything from acquiring brands of our own and building them from the ground up to curating a list of other brands from around the world, and that doesn't necessarily have to be clothes. Then there's also watches. There's a bunch of different things that have different forms of status value to our society.
Basically anything that you can spend your money on, right from the tulip mania, so to say.
Definitely. It's more of a question of for people who've made their money on what's next. Like, why do you make money and what do you do with it once you've made all your money and spent all your life saving, and what gives you joy? And those are the things that are intangible in nature. And for us, discovering that process and seeing that feeling and emotion with our customers is the core goal.
$2 million for the first round that you have would value your company closer to a little over $10 million. What's the kind of value do you think you can derive from a company like that?
A couple things, Mangalam, for us, the goal is not to build a $1 billion or $2 billion or $5 billion company. It's about trying to figure out what real value we add. If we need $150 million to sort of help us achieve what has crystallized of our vision in the next 12 to 15 months, and that is helping us get there, then sure, that'll be cool. But I truly believe that we're here trying to build a large cap public company, hopefully in the future, from a definition of impact. We like to build something that's serving the world. I don't look at this as an Indian company or an American company or a European company. The goal is to build a value-adding entity to whatever society we're in.
What value do you think you add with the products that you're selling and the services? And at the same time, at a time when so many other competitors are there in this space as well. Now it's a well-discovered, well-established marketplace, so to say. You are one of the players in that market space. How do you differentiate yourself?
Your first question was around what value we add to our end customers. And I think it's that emotion of discovering an intangible joy. I'm not going to give you value for money. I'm not going to tell you that, oh, this makes sense. We're not trying to rationalize. And that feeling of unboxing a sneaker, we've delivered some rare sneakers to our customers over the years. And that emotion that they feel is our core metric of success. Coming to the question about competition, so at the end of the day, as much credit as I like to take for the business that we've built and the work that we've put in as a team, the shoes sell because they're Michael Jordan, So I didn't really do anything. All I had to do was show up with the shoes. You show up correct. It's a very simple job. You gotta just show up with the shoes and they'll sell. So a lot of people can show up with the shoes. That's not hard to do. I think the harder part is to break out of the simple to build distribution. I think aggregating the supply chain is phenomenally difficult.
No one else been able to knock it?
I don't think anybody's been able to do it at the scale we're at. I think a lot of people are trying to do.
Define scale?
Today we're doing between 3,000 to 5,000 shoes a month, and that's dealing with 100% of suppliers being independent resellers. It's extremely hard to do, to track shoes of that quant, to deliver them on time. We've had our fair share of delays and issues as well, learning along the way. We've made some senior hires. I think it's the first time this ecosystem has hired people of that sort of experience level, or that sort of pay package and things like that. Recently we sold a shoe that only had 200 made in the world, and it went for almost 20 lakh rupees.
Wow, what pair was that?
It is a Tiffany and Air Force One collaboration.
The turquoise one.
Right. So the original Tiffany and Air Force that you'll see there goes for about $2,000. So this shoe is about a lakh 25, lakh 30. Now there is a friends and family version of the shoe where the whole shoe is this color and the swoosh is black.
Oh.
And there's only 200 of those in the world. They never actually released. They were only gifted to Nike's friends and family. We managed to source it for a special client, and that was almost 20 lakh rupees, So it's not like the hype is dead. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot more quantity of the items that are not ridiculously hype.
And what do you do with the money that you get?
we put it right back into the business.
The reason I ask this is, so right now you're doing about 100 crore run rate, or you're closer to that number with roughly 20% gross margins is what you had said earlier. With this money coming in, how faster does it help you to
How
scale?
much faster does it help us to scale? I think it helps us strengthen the quality of that 100 crore of distribution.
Okay.
Right? We get to play some capital leverage games. We get to ask some riskier questions in testing new categories and things like that.
Right.
We get to start prepping for the 100 crore to 1,000 crore game, which is, oh, do we need X number of people here? Earlier, we might not have been able to try and realize that, oh, this is wrong. We just didn't have the money to do it. Now we get to invest in advertising for the first time, see how that can supercharge like our customer acquisition funnel, because till now it's all been organic through content. We've not really spent anything on ads. We get to tinker with larger agencies to play around and see what value they can add, rather than just having to do everything in-house.
And
if anything,
what do they say about the sellers never consuming their own wear? Is that why you wear a plain white t-shirt and no sneakers?
when we were starting the business over the first year and a half, I'd collected one or two whatever shoes I could afford, and I just realized it was occupying like so much like headspace. And I remember one day just being like, instinctively, I don't think I want to be doing this right now. Like, I love all of it, but if I have to think about wearing a shoe that's 50,000 or a lakh or something like that, and I'm certainly not at the place in life where I can do it without thinking about it. So it just felt like the right thing to do was just to absolve myself from it and let every shoe that we have be on the rack. I don't think it's my time yet.
Perfect. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
This was a pleasure, man.
Thank you,
As
Mangalam.
always.
Thank you for coming. I'll see you around. Have a good one.
I will.